Okay. Our next guest. I'm sure you all know Richard Lewis. He's a very funny young man, and he's in a new series now that's a big hit called Anything But Love, which co-stars Jamie Lee Curtis. And then he's going on the road. He's going to be Friday night in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, Saturday night, April 14th at the Westbury Music Fair in New York, and then Monday in his hometown of Englewood, New Jersey at the John Harms Center. Would you welcome Richard Lewis? Hey.
Let me just make sure there's a cushion here for me. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm glad you changed the carpet for me.
Hey, once every 10 years we get new carpet.
I'll tell you something. About 3 months ago.
Yeah.
This is tooting my horn, but who cares?
Yes, go ahead.
Because life's short, and why not?
Who knows where we're going?
So I played Carnegie Hall for the first time.
Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, right. And Doc and his beautiful wife came, and Doc called me. He says, "What should I wear?" That's how sensitive he is. Doc, he said, "Should I wear the Pinky Lee stuntman outfit? Or should I go for the more of the he was going to go for like a Gene Autry kind of thing." And I went, I don't know, because he was going to sit in the front. I got him front row seats, right? Am I right or am I wrong, Doc? And you wore, unfortunately, the Spike Jones.
Spike Jones outfit.
Yeah, and why you brought the xylophone and blew bubbles during my show. Well, I love you, and I love your wife, but thanks a lot.
But Carnegie Hall, that's not bad.
Oh, God, it was a dream come true,
But that's the
really.
top of the line, isn't it?
Yeah, but for me, a nightmare come true, because my family wanted to come, and, I love them. And
Yeah, but aren't you going home to Englewood in triumph now? I mean...
Well, triumph is a stretch for
yeah,
me,
but
quite frankly. But, well, yeah, I'm going to go back and see them. But my mother, she called me 5 minutes ago.
You're kidding.
No, it's unbelievable. I've been, can I just say something?
Sure.
I've been doing, the first Tonight Show, and this sounds, I'm sorry if I'm indulgent, but I have to,
Hey.
I did it in 1974, and I never sat here. So it's like 16 years. And the only time I sat next to you, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was with a wonderful woman. I say person because it broke up.
Yeah.
I use third person when it breaks up.
Yeah.
And I was sitting, and you were flying you always go to Wimbledon, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you were sitting, I said, oh my God, Johnny's across the aisle. So I'm sitting across from Johnny Carson for 7 hours. I went, and I have a lot of nervous habits, and I have a problem that I have to look. Like, let's say you were Johnny.
Okay, I'll be Johnny.
And you've always been known as being a great impressionist. You know that.
Sure that, yeah.
So I'm sitting right here. You're literally Johnny.
Right.
And I'm 7.5 years.
Right.
And I said to my girlfriend at the time, who was a terrific woman, so please.
The third person.
Yeah, right. I say, Johnny's here, and I've done the show for 10 years, but I never sat with him. This is it was like a panel practice for me, actually sitting next to you. And I have nervous habits, so I didn't want to look. You're doing great, by the way. I didn't want to look at Johnny, because I didn't want Johnny to be like, oh, God, this comic, he's going to impose on me.
Yeah.
This is a long flight.
Sure, I understand that.
You know what they do for 8 hours.
Right.
They got the peanut brunch, and then they have the other brunch, and then after 3 hours, they do Ibsen's Ghost for a while, and then one of the stewardess did a Jolson impression for a couple of minminutes. So it's a long
And the
flight.
hand shadows and
the
stuff.
whole,
Yeah, I know.
Right. The whole thing, right? So I tried my best not to look at you. But I panicked because I was in a bad way with this woman. So and she already hated me. Yeah. But so you're Johnny, and again you're doing unbelievably well. Let me get this over with because otherwise the whole show is in the toilet. Not,
no.
So I turn around and your eyes met me for a second. I went, oh my God, we're still on the runway. We're still on the runway. And you looked at me and you gave me this look like it was it was almost like subtitles. You're a funny guy. You've done my show, but if you look at me again, you're a dead man.
Mr. Warmth, huh?
No, I know, and I mean that affectionately.
Sure.
No, you meant well, but I said, you're Johnny Carson. You don't want to have some young, I'm not young anymore, quite frankly. But I mean, you don't want some comic staring at you or, bringing up things like, gee, I understand Don Adams dresses like a pilgrim on Passover. I don't want to bring those things up to you on the plane, you know what I mean? So I tried to avoid your glance for 7 hours, and it was a nightmare. And it broke my relationship up mid-flight. Because I would look at you, I was eating brunch, and I saw your eyes looking at me, and I literally ate my food like the Elephant Man. It was like unbelievable. So anyway, so it's a pleasure to be sitting next to you.
Finally you're here.
Yeah, but now in front of so many people, I don't know why I even told that story.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure. But I'm going back to Englewood.
Yeah.
I was raised there. I know it was a silly.
You're going a long way around. What the hell?
I know. Well, you know.
You're entitled.
Well, I've been in therapy for 17 years.
That's what I hear. How's it going, by the way? Well,
Johnny, I don't know.
family problems or women problems or what?
No, the family is really. My mother, and I love her very much. I've talked about her a lot, and she's a wonderful lady. And in fact, she just did a. She's like an amateur actress. She played, Torch Song Trilogy, that film that came out.
Yeah.
But they did it at the local Jewish community center. They didn't want to be very controversial, so they did Torch Song.
Right.
But they took the homosexual theme out of the play.
Oh, really?
So they made the lead character some like third base coach hitting fungos to Willie Mays. It was a sad
little
play.
something. But...
Yeah, it was sad. But she calls me backstage. I said, "How can you call me at the Tonight Show?" Because she has this. She's very negative.
Yeah.
My family's negative. And she calls me and she's. Here's the thing. She says to me. She always when I'm on the road she faxes me like bad news from the family. And
there's one dude comes directly by fax. Yeah.
Just before I go on stage, like, wherever I am, she goes, Uncle Abe has a cyst on his neck. Thank you, Mom. Thank you very much. But here's the thing. When I was struggling, and, who knows? I mean, show business is tough, you know? And she supported me, and she paid my my Blue Cross and all that stuff. But, what happened was she would call me now, and she's as generous as she was when I started out.
Right.
She's so cheap on the opposite. Some people are generous and then cheap in certain areas.
Right.
And I guess I am too. But the thing is, she's cheap with telephones. So like if I'm in so tonight, she calls me, and rather than say, break a leg with Johnny,
right.
She can't even spend the dollar, even though she gave me thousands of dollars growing up.
Right.
She has the operator. It's so humiliating. She has the operator say, "I have a person-to-person call from the Eagle has landed." Has like this psychotic code, So Passover, I know this is a happy holiday to anybody who's celebrating it, and they're sending me a videotape of the Seder, and
so you can enjoy that at least.
Yeah, I heard. I was in Vegas about 6 months ago performing, and some wacko said that he was they had these gift shops, and I'm very gullible. The guy said he was inventing a hologram for people who didn't want to be with their families during holidays. So, I swear to God, Johnny.
You didn't get the hologram.
It was $5,000, and I didn't buy it.
Right.
It's a lot of money. I'd rather give it to Comic Relief, quite frankly. But, more than quite frankly. But anyway, he said that I could put this screen at my family's Seder, and they think I'm there because they can reach in, and yet I'm like in Maui, on a hammock somewhere.
That's right. Not a bad idea.
But I just saw them.
Yeah.
I went to this. Well, here's the thing. I'm talking about family. I'm sorry for obsessing on this.
No.
She just called me, so I'm thinking about it. Here's why I feel so. You're mocking me. I know.
No,
that.
I'm not. I had the same problem. I had the same problem with my mother. I understand it.
No.
Oh yes.
Oh, Johnny, would you really?
Yeah. They always have that identification. My mother would actually call me a couple of times a week and say, "What have you been doing lately?" And I said, "Mom, I'm on every night." She just did it to bug me.
The same thing, right?
Same thing.
I said, "I'm on the Tonight Show with Johnny."
Right.
She says, "Who else is on?"
Negative. That's negative. Negative.
Is that crazy?
It's always you got to control. Yes, control.
It's not
Control.
fair.
I got to do this, and we'll come
you
back.
do?
And
Great.
tell your mother just stand by. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. Okay. We're talking with Richard Lewis now. Did your mother ask you this question? Has your mother said yet, Richard, you're what, 40 now?
Well, I'm in that area.
All right, you're in that area. Yeah. How come you haven't met a nice girl and settled down?
Yeah, well, I'm never going to be, it's never going to be Robert Young, Jane Wyatt time for me.
I understand that.
Because I'll be like one of those, if I ever get married and then let's say my wife wants to have a career, I'll be like 56, I'll be like 111 when my kid's like on the All-Star team, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm already putting pressure on my kid. I don't even have a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm putting him on the All-Star
You're
team.
not even married yet.
No, that's my problem. That's my problem. But I'm not sure.
Were you close with that third person or the third party?
No, Johnny, I'll tell you something. I don't know if you can relate to this. Well, I don't mean to.
Well, try me.
Well, this should. I'm 42. I've said it. Who cares?
all
As long
right.
as that. But in relationship years, I'm about 111,000.
Right.
Quite frankly, every ring under my eyes, like Ruth, Janice. It's like you're right. Yeah.
Count the rings, right?
Oh, count that ring. So, You know, it's been a nightmare. You know that.
I know.
I've spoken to you from my
Sure.
therapy session. You know that,
Many
right?
times before.
Yeah, it's been, you know, there should be mistake warnings. If you're with the wrong man or woman, I've been with, and I'm no gift.
Yeah.
I'm a wacko, and yet I've been with wackettes. I've been with wackettes. I mean, my last girlfriend, about a year ago, she only would make love if she had a raven on her shoulder. Isn't that bad, right?
Well,
I mean, come on.
everybody has a little
And I'm not-
peccadillos. Yeah.
Well, you're right. And
Of
I'm
course.
not, you know, and I feel, you know, like a lot of men, I have a fear of intimacy. I'm afraid to get close. When I make love, the best I can do is, I love you, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, how close can you get?
No commitment. You see, you don't want to commit. You don't want to
But
commit.
this woman was so demanding sexually. I mean, you know, I said, you know, can I satisfy you? She says, 2 wrongs don't make a right. She goes, she said, I want to do it at the same time. And I went, oh my God. And finally it happened, Johnny. And it was like, and I hired the neighbors to do a wave across the street from the window.
Good move.
Yeah, and then I did high fives afterwards. And it took away from the romance.
Of course it
You know,
did.
and the victory lap around the bed. Come on. But I don't know. There's so many problems with women, and you know, my mother, she just wants me to be healthy. Although she's so negative, and you know, I've learned a lot from her. And but I feel good about, you know, I've been the last year and a half. I've been with Jamie Lee Curtis. And
How's that show going? Going well. Huh?
Yeah, it's going really well, and I pray it comes back because I love the cast and I love doing
well,
the show.
You see, they love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was almost like it was almost like Gandhi going, please. I don't, you know, I was, but thank you, very sweet order.
That just means we're leaving for a second.
That's it?
That's what just
We'll be
about.
back.
I guess I can go to the bathroom.
Hey,
now,
no,
right?
you stay here. Stay where you are. We'll be right back.